Hello friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks, and I am so glad that you are a part of my channel community. Thank you so much for being here with me. The other day I posted a mystery scarf, and so far you guys are loving it, and some of you have taken up the challenge and have made a scarf and have posted in my Facebook group, and it's been so fun to see the different ones. And so I thought I would add a mystery beanie. Now you can't see it here because it's all covered up with the yarn, but you'll see it at the end of the tutorial. Friends, this is a reversible beanie, and it just is so pretty. I just love this idea. I don't know how I come up with these ideas, but you know what? This is one that I have enjoyed, and I know that you are enjoying it as well. So I will explain to you the supplies that you need in the next clip here, and we'll get started on this beautiful reversible beanie. Now, the thing I love about it the most is that it's unique, because there will never be two beanies that are the same. It doesn't matter. You can use the same colors of yarn and make a second one. It will look different from the first. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Thanks again for being a part of my community. Please do join my Facebook group. I'll have the link down in the description box below. All right, friends, have fun. I have my 46 needle machine set up. Go ahead and use your machine of choice for this particular project. If you're making an adult beanie, you want to do the 46 or the 48. If you're doing a toddler or younger, you can use your 40 needle Sentro. Or you can stick with these bigger machines. I make even infant beanies on this particular machine, so any size works. I am going to do the same thing I did with my mystery scarf. So if you haven't seen my mystery scarf video, you want to look for that. It's posted on my channel as well. Look under the scarf playlist. But I have my bags here. I've got numbers written on beads. You can write them on little paper squares or on buttons or whatever it is that you have. But I have numbers 3 to 10 on these beads. I want my lowest row count number to be 3 and the highest to be 10. And our numbers represent the row counts that we're going to do. I've got my colors here. 1 color per each number. So if I have 8 numbers, I have 8 colors. If I have 6 numbers, I have 6 colors. So you get to choose by grabbing whatever scrap yarn you have, or whatever different colors that you want to go with on your scarf, or your beanie, or your project of whatever kind that you're doing. For me, I've got 8 colors, and I'm going to keep it consistent with the mystery scarf that I made. You're going to want to try that tutorial as well, friends. It's so fun, and it just took off really quickly. So I am using 8 different colors of yarn. Caron Simply Soft. I'm not going to put them all in here, but those are 4 of them. And I've got 8 of them set up on my table here. Every bead has the name of one of these colors on it. We're going to make an adult beanie today. For me, I'm going to start by pulling 1 number and 1 color. I got number 4 and I got pink. So I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to take my pink. Now, this isn't actually called pink in their color names, but I'll have it all listed in the description box below, so you can look for them if you're interested in them. Now, what did I just do? What did I just do? I'll fix that, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I have that all untangled. I'm going to bring my last white and my first black needle in line with my yarn guide here. Take a black permanent marker, mark that divider between it, and you won't regret it. Trust me, it's just so helpful to see when the end of your row is coming around. And I'm going to take that first color that I chose, and we're going to cast on with a drawstring cast on, not counting this row. So we're going to go in front of that first black, behind the next one, in front, behind, in front and behind, all the way around. And friends, just let that yarn slip through your fingers. Because we need it to have a fairly loose cast on, so that when our stitches are forming on the next couple of rows, there's no weight in the project here to pull it down over these loops down over the little red teeth. So we need this cast on to be loose. Before I get to the last one, anywhere around that row, I'm going to set my row counter to 0, because now it is ready to go. Your cast on should be behind that last white one if you did it right. And into the yarn feeder it goes. I like to hold my yarn between my fingers like that. There's a very loose tension, but yet a bit so that I can control if there's a knot coming up, or if I'm at the end of the skein, or whatever problem might be arising. If I feel it's too tight coming out of the ball, I have a grip on it. So I don't generally use a tensioner. I always use my fingers. I can't say always because sometimes I do use a tensioner, but I would say 99% of the time, this is what I do. All right, so we're gonna go slowly on this first round. Remember, we need 4 rounds. So go slowly, giving that cast on row a chance to do what it needs to do. This is often where people have the most trouble, is casting on. They say, I'm getting tuck stitches, and people will say, well, always use waste yarn, even if you are doing a drawstring closure like what I'm doing. I think that is so silly. Don't do that, friends. It's not like, I mean, I don't condemn anybody who chooses to do it, of course, but it's not necessary. If you do a loose cast on and you go slowly on your first couple of rounds, keeping your eye here to make sure those loops go down over the red teeth, you do not need to do the extra steps of a waste yarn and then, you know, taking a needle and thread and picking up your loops to do a drawstring. That just seems silly to me. So just take your time and go slow. This is row 3 until you have a bit of weight there. Because if you're watching, you're going to be successful. And if you're going slow and you're using the tension that your machine requires you to use, and you're using good yarn, that's 4 rows right there. So I have completed 4 rows of that first color. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go into my bag. I'm going to take the next 2. Don't cheat, friends. Do it exactly what it tells you to do. Whatever you grab, even if you don't think it's going to match, go with it, because it ends up always looking very beautiful. So I have 9 and dark green. Technically, I'm working on the inside of my beanie right now, because this part's going to be folded on the inside, but it's going to be reversible. And so both of your sides, there's not really an inside and an outside, but we're working on the first half, maybe I should say it that way, of our beanie. And we're going to continue going for 9 rows using dark green. So I'm going to take my dark green. Oh, I love these colors. And we're going to find our end. And when you finish a row, like we just finished this pink row, you're going to take these 2 beads, the first 2 that you do, and you're going to set them aside out of the way, because trust me, friends, when I tell you that if you put them with this pile and then you have to get up for something, you're going to say, now, was that a 9 row or a 4 row? Which number am I actually on? So it's just a simple tip, but have them separate from the ones that you've already done. We're going to cut our pink yarn. Open that latch and pop it between the last white and the first black. We still have to knit these 2, so it needs to go there. We're going to take that second color, the green, we're going to put it into our feeder. I'm going to do a jogless join. When you knit in the round, every row goes on top of the other, just like that. We're going to bring this color join so that it's not uneven like that. By doing this jogless join and tying it off properly, we're going to bring that color in line, so then our green will meet the pink and not be on top of it. Hence the reason why we call it a jogless join. So we're going to take that green and we're going to pop it onto the other side of that white needle. All right, so it's the right side. Then you're going to hold both tails and you're going to knit 4 or 5 needles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see how loopy this is? I always help that down. Watch how I tighten it up. I'm going to take both ends of that working yarn and I'm going to pull them away from each other. Look at the slack I took out of there. Okay, it makes a difference. If you want to pay attention to detail and make sure that your projects are beautiful from the beginning of the row to the end of the row, you're going to make sure you do that extra step. We are going to knit 9 rows. So on our counter, that will take us to row 13. But after about 4 rows, I'm going to go slow on this first round just because the colors, we're changing colors, and sometimes the dye lots will make one a little bit softer than the other, and you want to make sure it catches. So after about 3 or 4 rows, we're going to tie off our jogless join. And I'm only going to do 1 or 2 on the machine here because I'm going to show you how to do it off the machine. I like the looks of it better when you tie your jogless joins off the machine. So let's do this 4th row because we want it to be a little bit further down, like not so close to these red dividers, in order to tie this off. So we're going to take both tails and we're going to put them between our fingers, and then we're going to put our thumbs on top of them, and we're going to pull them gently away from each other, and it will stop when it's in place. Just automatically does. And we're going to tie this one. Don't tie it too tight, just so that it's flush with the project, and tie the next one tight. Because if you tie the first, tie it a little, like if you're overzealous and you put extra pressure on it, you're going to change the look of the stitch on the other side. All right. So I'm going to continue now knitting for my 9 rows of green. I have completed 9 rows. My counter is on 13. 4 plus 9 is 13. We're going to cut our green, put it in between the last white and the first black, and we're going to grab our next color. Then I'm going to tell you it's orange and 3. Then I'm going to tell you how to proceed after that. So 3 and orange. I'm going to move these other 2 out of the way. Keep these ones separately. And we're going to, I didn't do a very good job of putting these yarn tails back into the cakes properly after I finished my scarf, because now I'm having a little bit of problems again, but that's okay. Par for the course. I'm going to take that orange and I'm going to pop it into my yarn feeder. We are going to do a jogless join, and we need 3 rows. Knit 4 or 5, fix my tension, just let those hang down. I'm going to tie them off when we have our project off the machine, so stick with me. 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes when your handle makes that cranking sound, or it feels like it's skipping a gear, which it is, it's the little tines that are on the inside here. If you have too much tension on this and your handle has to work really hard to make your needles pick it up, because the tension on your yarn is keeping it from moving freely, your handle, the gears on your handle will grind against the gears that are inside your machine here, and the little tines that are in there, I call it a gear, but it's the little tines that are on the circle piece, will break. And then you have to replace it or somehow fix it, or, you know, it's just not good. So you want to make sure that your tension is always good coming out of your ball, and that you're not fighting with it. All right, so we're going to pop that into the center between the last white and the first black. Push those old numbers and color out of the way. Go in, and we're going to grab the next set. 8 and light green. 8 and light green. Here's my light green right there. Again, I'm going to tie off my joins after I have my project off my machine. Into the feeder it goes. Take it around that white needle. Knit 4 or 5. Help those loops down over the red dividers, and then take your yarn tails and pull them away from each other. Now, light green, I got to look at my color again. 8. We're going to do 8 rows, taking me to row 25. I'll see you at the end of row 8. I just finished 8 rows. It's already looking very, very pretty. I'm going to push those 2 beads that I used out of the way, and I'm going to go into my bag, and I'm going to choose the next 2 colors. And friends, you're going to do that until your bag is empty. All right, so I've got 5 rows, teal. All these numbers, 3 till 10, add up to 52 rows. So when you are finished drawing from your bag, if you're using 8 colors like what I'm doing, and using 3 till 10, when you are finished drawing from your bag, you'll have 52 rows done. Now, depending on how many rows you want your beanie to be, of course, we're gonna double that and more. you just keep going like that, but you keep drawing from your bags until all your colors and your numbers are taken out. Then you put them all back in and you start over until you get to the rows that you, until you get to the row count that you want. Now, if you follow me, you know, so I've got teal in 5, you know that for an adult beanie, right from day one, I have done 140 rows because I love a wide brim. I live in a cold climate. I live in Manitoba. It gets really cold. And I like a wide brim on my beanie. But I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to step out of my box this time. And I'm going to do 130. I've never made an adult beanie with 130 rows. I'll tell you that right now. I've never done it. But I see many, many people doing it. And so you might be one of them. I'm going to do 130 rows and I'm going to let you know if I like how it fits or not. So follow me to the end of the video. I'm going to show you the size of it and what I think of the fit. And we'll decide whether 130 or 140 is better for me. You might like the 130. So I'm going to add my teal. I'm going to go around to the other side of that white. I'm going to knit 4 or 5 needles. I'm going to help those loops down underneath. I'm going to pull away from each other and I'm going to continue knitting my teal for 5 rows, leaving these tails just hanging there. We're going to fix them when we get off our project off the machine. So keep going like that until you have the desired number of rows that you want. When I am finished emptying my bag here, I'm going to come back and just re-emphasize what I do, all right? I have finished all 8 colors. I'm going to go ahead and take my beads and I'm going to put numbers, color, 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 numbers, color, color, number, number. You're separating them all again, just like that. And you're going to start the process over. And you're going to keep going until you get to the row count that you want. Now, if the last, let's just say the last number you grab isn't 8, but you only want to do 3 or 4 more rows to finish your row count. Just do 3 or 4 more rows. Stop at the row count that you want that is on your row counter on your machine. All right, so we're looking at row counts that are all different on these little beads, but we're going to do our final count by what our machine counter says. All right, so that will help you to get to the size that you actually want. So I'm going to keep going. Now that I've finished all 8 colors, there's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the counters and colors are back in the original bag that they need to go in. We're going to start over. So shake them up. Pull 2 colors. I've got, oh, look at that. I'm starting with pink again. Pink 8. No matter what you start with, only thing that I would throw back, and I didn't mention this on the scarf, is if I was to grab ivory now and I start with the color that I ended with, I would throw that one back and start over. I don't want to have a big chunk of one color. So that is the only exception to Shelley's rules. All right. If the last color and the first color are the same, switch it out. Push it back, put it back and grab again. So I'm going to start this round 8 pink. And I'm going to go until my bag is empty. And then I'm going to put them all back, sorted back into their 2 bags here and continue till I get to the row count that I want. All right. Once I have that done, we're going to take this off the machine. I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to close up our jogless joins and I'll show you that as well. So stick with me, friends, but have fun. I'll see you when you get to the end of your row count that you desire to have. All right. Have fun. All right, just a little pop one for those of you who might be beginners. When your project starts to touch the table, if you just keep knitting and let it bunch up like this, you're going to take the tension off the inside ring of your barrel. And that's going to make it harder for these loops to get down over the red teeth. But you're also going to risk having it bunch up so much that the loops fall off the teeth and you drop a row. So you don't want to do that. You want to, once it starts to touch the table, you're going to pick it up and you're going to roll it over on itself. Just like that. And then every 20 rows or so, you're going to keep rolling. And that will help keep the tension even. It will prevent these little loops from falling off and just give you a neater project. All right, so my row counter is at 130, and I'm so tempted to go further because I don't know that I'm gonna like 130 rows, and I only have like 2 of the 4 rows of my gold, but that's okay. It turns out that my last 2, well, before this last color, I had 10 and 9 rows, so I'm gonna have 2 big chunks of color at the top of one side of the beanie. So we'll see how that looks. I'm just, you know what, I'm just going with it. I didn't switch out anything, and I am looking forward to seeing what it's going to be when it's done. I'm going to take a tail of yarn that goes around my barrel 1.5 to 2 times. We're going to open that latch. We're going to make sure that that yarn stays underneath this one and underneath this last one, because we still have to finish knitting it off. And I'm going to just rotate it so it drops down. On my scarf, I took it off on this side of the machine. This time I'm going to take it off on this side. I often change it up so you can see both ways of removing your project. So I'm going to just get up and squeeze in between the wall and my table here. You're going to turn your handle till that first one drops down, and then you're going to pick that up. Pick that loop up. Turn it till the next one drops down, and just do one at a time till you get some slack here. And this needle here is holding that loop in place so it doesn't fall off when you're working to pick this one up. All right. Because this is slippery yarn, you have to be very careful when you're casting off this way. And now that I've got a little bit of slack here, I'll show you what I mean. If I was to rotate it a few times, all these loops are ready to come off. So if I pick this one off and I lift it up too high, that one's going to fall off and risk dropping my row. So come out to the side just like that. Another good habit is to put your finger over that next stitch to hold that loop in place before you lift up on the previous one. And you're going to remove all of your stitches. This one looks like it's ready to pop off, so I'm going to grab it before it does. All right, so go around and release all the loops off your machine. When you know the tension, you can just go like this, and I'm just going very close to that divider as I pass from one loop to the next. There we go. Let me remove my machine and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing this. We're going to take that needle off just so that I can unwind it. Do it here. You can see this is where our jogless joins need to be tied, where it's loose there. And we're going to do that almost right away, but look at that. Oh, you know what? There is going to be no ugly beanie or scarf because it just works out so great. When you follow the number system, you're having blocks of, the colors are all the same, but it's in a block. So that's where the sequencing comes, and that's where the consistent patterning comes. Even though the colors change and the numbers are changing, the same length, 52 rows, incorporates all 8 colors over and over and over again. And that's what makes it look so beautiful and what just draws it all together and makes it work. I'm going to come up to here. We tied off this first one, which is good because that was just a smaller section. So we're going to go down to this next one, finding our 2 strands. Here they are right there. So you can see that this row is lower than that row, or this row is lower than that row. We're going to change that. take these two, there's two ways to do it. I'm going to show you both. Take these two strands, put your finger, one above and one below, and press down just to give it some stability. And then you're going to pull up on this with just a firm tug. And you'll feel when it falls into place. You probably heard that as well. And then you're going to take these two, tie that one, but don't pull this one too tight or you're going to mess up the look of the stitch on the other side. Pull this one tight. Cut that off. Let's do that same way again, and then I'll show you another way. Picking up both strands, fingers one above, one below, securing by pushing down, lift up on this. And it just tugs into place. Once we get them all tied, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Cut that off. Now another way to do it is to take these strands and pull them away from each other. And then you can see that go into place, just like that. You might like that one better. I generally pull up on it, but this one, I mean, one's not better than the other. This one, I think you can see the visual a little bit better. Let's do it with these two colors. Pull apart. I just think it gives it a little twist when you do it that way, but you can just take your thumbs in and smooth it out before you tie your knot. And we're going to have some beautiful joins on that other side. And you want to make sure that you don't miss any of these, because if you do, of course, you know what the outcome will be. Once your beanie is all put together, you will start seeing that one of your rows lets go and comes loose because it's not tied and finished off. All right, so you want to make sure that you don't miss one. Take your time, get it nice, tie off. I might not have done that one tight enough, but we'll see when it's on the other side. Cut it off, move down. See, I like that way better because I feel it just stops where it's supposed to and does its own thing a little bit better than the other way, but both are good. Tie that off. I'll do the other way again on this one here, but you just work your way all the way down one at a time. This way is a little bit more gentle, I think. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work all my joins, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. I have all of my joins done. I'm going to just turn this right side out. Before we look at the knots, let's stretch our work widthwise. You do this for every piece you take off the machine. I'm also going to make a mention. Sometimes I see, especially when you're using single color for a beanie or a project, I see that some of the new people who are making beanies are putting this on the outside. Now that is not wrong. This is the purl side, and you can use that if you want that to be the outside of your work. And I see when people are making some of my stuffed animals, part of their project will have the knit side out, and one of the legs will have the purl side and the other the knit side. And when that happens, that tells me that you're not realizing that there's an opposite, that there's a right and a wrong side. Otherwise you would keep it consistent and have all the legs this way, or, and not just do one this way and one this way. So just to make mention to my newbies that are watching and may not realize, this is the right side, what we call the public side, the right side of our work. However, again, if you're making a project and you want to use the purl side, you can do that. Just keep it consistent throughout your project so it doesn't look like you just haven't realized it. All right. So just wanted to make a mention of that. I see it particularly in beanies, actually, in solid color beanies. And I'm confident that it's just because people aren't aware of it and they don't realize it. So I thought I would make a mention of it. Here we go. We've got now we got to find our joins. I got to look on the inside so I can see where they actually are. There they are. You can't even see them. Right here. Look how straight that is. They're right there, all the way down. There is no jog in the join. They are perfectly straight all the way down. Yay! All right, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hand into your tube just like that. You're gonna pinch one end and bring it in through the center. This is often where people get it wrong because they will go like this, and then the outside, the pearl side is on the outside. So go have the right side facing, pinch the end, bring that through, and you've got the knit side on the outside, and it looks beautiful. You're going to then go into the inside one, and you're going to pull on that drawstring to tighten, but when you do so, make sure you smooth it out. Here's another thing that I notice people don't always do. They don't smooth it out. They just pull this till it's as tight as they can get, and then you're going to have a bulky top because you need to smooth out those stitches as you go. Make it nice and neat. Pay attention to that detail and you won't regret it. All right, so now I'm going to cut this off a little bit shorter. Now that I've shown you that, I'm actually going to take this back out to the other side because it really is easier. You can go underneath all this top row of stitches here to tighten, but I'm going to take it to this side because it's easier to see. And I'm going to show you. So actually you wouldn't have had to pull that through the center yet. In an effort to teach you the right and the wrong side, I did that a little prematurely, but you're going to pull on this and smooth it out so that you have it as closed as you can get, and then you're going to go around that top row of stitches. Just take your needle and pick up those top loops. Just like that. It reinforces the top, helps you to get a really tight closure on it, and it looks a lot nicer than if you were not to do it. All right, so there we go. I've got one time around. I'm just going to pick up 2 strands, make a knot, pull that knot down firmly with my thumb, then I'm going to put my hand into my tube, pop that needle in through the center, grabbing it with my hand on the other side, and then pinching the top, bringing it through at that point. And you've got a nicer finish on your top there. When you pull your yarn tail through, give it a little tug and that knot comes right there to the inside and you don't even see it. You're going to go ahead and you're going to do the same thing to this side. If you can find your tail, see how that bunches up and it's just ugly. You got to just smooth it out. This one started with a row of 3, so I didn't think I was going to like it at the very top, just with such a narrow color, but I think it looks fantastic actually. Pull up really tight on that. This one, you want to make sure this tail is outside because you're going to tie these 2 together. I'm going to cut this one off so it's easier to work with. And what you did to the other side, you're going to do to this side. You're going to go underneath that first row of stitches and pick up the loop all the way around. You guys, thank you for your reaction to the scarf. Like, I cannot believe how fast the views went up on that one. And just your encouragement in my Facebook group and how much you loved it and are loving it. And thank you for those of you who've already posted, because it's just so great to see the colors that you've chosen and just that you're having fun and enjoying it. All right, so thank you. I'm going to pull up on that, or pull tight on that yellow one. I'm going to pull up on this pink one, and I'm going to tie a firm knot. Just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this back onto my needle. Cut it off if it's too long and getting in your way. Now the truth will be, do I like 130 rows better than 140? We are going to find out, my honest review. And I'm going to stick it between the 2 layers. Give it a little tug. Cut it off. Pull up. And friends, Now all we got to do is add a pom-pom. You can make your pom-poms. You know that I love, if you follow my channel, you know that I love clover pom-pom makers, but I'm going to use faux fur one for this one. There we go. I'll show you what it looks like first. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. That's one side, and I didn't think I was gonna like this because I have the 10 and 9, and I thought, oh, that's gonna be too wide bands at the top, but I think it looks actually great. So I'm gonna look at that side. Now let's take a look at this side. Oh, my favorite. That's my favorite side. But they're both uniquely their own. Let me grab my crochet hook now. There we go. I should have had it handy, but it's a 4.5 millimeter hook because it'll get into there a little bit easier than anything bigger. You can also go a little bit smaller. So I am going to show you some different pom-pom colors. I'm going to go into the center there, which we pulled tight. So the first time you go through, it's a little bit difficult, but manageable. And I'm going to take a pom-pom. I chose this one. Take it and blow dry it for 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds on high heat, or shake the heck out of it. That's what I did. I just shook this one really good. Don't just take it out of the package and put it on your beanie because they look ugly. Like seriously, I can't, there's no other word for it. They're ugly if you don't take care of them. But if you put them under a hot blow dryer for 10 minutes, they're beautiful. So when I did do craft shows, so I'm bringing that through, I took my blow dryer with me. I found it. I took an extension cord. I blow dried all my pom-poms on my beanies that I displayed because it makes a huge difference on how your display looks. You need to pay attention to those details as well. Taking your little pom-pom holder. Now I made these out of a cutting board. I have a video tutorial on my techniques playlist. You're going to wrap that around. This elastic is a bit tight, but you're going to wrap it around just like that. And you've got your pom-pom. You can switch that out and put a white one. You can put a green one. You can put whatever your heart desires. You can make your pom-poms, and if you make them with yarn, then all I do is I bring the two strands through and I tie them around. One comes up this side, one this side, and you tie them around the pom-pom holder just like that. All right, so now I'm going to take it off. We're going to turn it the other way. Always, when you turn your hat, put your hand in there and spread it out, and it just smooths it out on the inside and it's not all bunched up, and you have a nicer looking beanie. We're going to take our crochet hook, and be careful you don't snag the side like what I just did. And you're going to grab your pom-pom. Now, these are Pom-Kins. If I would have left a little bit of a hole at the top, using my cinch guide to guide me how wide to open it or to leave it. You'll see this on many of my videos, but I chose not to do it on this one. But I did want to show you. Then when you wrap your elastic around the Pom-Kin, you just bend this, you pop it in, and it releases and holds in place. And then you can just remove them and change them out with no problem. I didn't leave a space there to use this, so I'm going to take these ones off. And I'm going to grab this pink one and I'm going to bring it through. Now you can also use it rather than like if you ordered them to use them that way, oops. Let me try that one more time. You can leave the space a little bit, the opening a little bit wider, or you can just put them on when it's on the inside of the hat and just use them as a holder that way. So I've got this coming up out of the center. And if I wanted to, I would just wrap this around a couple of times, just like that. And it will hold my pom-pom in place. I will link those in the description box below. Of course, again, when you're using these, the idea is to leave an opening at the top that's as wide as the cinch guide. It comes with the Pom-Kins, and then you just squeeze it. When you want to take it out, you just squeeze it and push it through and it comes out. These are brilliant. They are my absolute favorite, okay? But I just wanted to show you both options. being that there's pink on this side, this pom-pom's ugly because it's not blow dried, but being that there's pink on this side, that one looks excellent. That would pick up on this stripe as well. All right, so friends, there it is. I'm gonna remove this one because I really do like the other side better. So I'm gonna display that. Taking this off. Smoothing that out again. Now, I told you that I stepped out of my box and I did 130 rows rather than my normal 140, because when I do 140, I like a wide band like that. For this to fit my head, I know that this is going to be thinner. So it will fit, but I'm going to have a thinner band, which I don't like as much. But I'm going to go put it on for you and see what I feel about it. Okay, friends, now is the moment of truth. Look at that pom-pom first. Just admire it. I blow dried it for like 15 seconds on high heat. And it looks beautiful. You gotta do that. Don't miss that step. And so anyways, this is the first time I'm trying this on. I have not put this on my head since I made it because I wanted to do it with you. It's the moment of truth. Do I like 130 rows or do I prefer 140? First of all, let me tell you, like, our Jogless joins are deadly good on this beanie. I hope yours are equally as good. I only know they're there because I can feel the knot, but I'm telling you, that Jogless join is brilliant. So you're gonna wanna make sure you do that all the time too. So here in Manitoba, in the middle of winter on a very cold day when the wind is blowing, because we live in the Windy City, well, just outside the Windy City of Winnipeg, it can get like minus 42, 43 degrees, and that is freezing cold. I like to have a brim that rolls up and goes over my ear so that I have, in a sense, 4 layers. Because, like, seriously, even if you're going to your car and going for groceries and coming home, you want to stay warm. So I typically like a wider brim. Now that might not be you. You might not need a wide brim. You might just like a tiny little thin brim just like that. So then 130 would look different on you than it does on me. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna roll this up to where I think I like the thickness of the brim, about like that. And then I'm gonna put it on my head. So I don't have a mirror in front of me. So we're gonna just go with it. Take it for the team. And I'm gonna tell you what I honestly think. Oh my goodness. This is the first beanie I've ever made at 130 rows. My first opinion, it fits my head, but look how snug it is to the top of my head. So if that's what you like, then 130 rows is gonna be nice and snug, fitting your head completely. If I just pop my hair back a little bit, you can see my earlobes are showing. That's not good. For me, that's not good. For many, maybe it's a fashion statement. You want to have your little earlobes showing with your earrings. And then 130 will be perfect for you. So I can see where this could work. But in my honest, immediate opinion is I need 140 because I want to make this wider so that I have like an ear warmer over a beanie. Pull that over my ears and my whole ear is covered. And yes, by doing that, my whole ear is covered, but it feels like it's kind of easing up. It's like, it's creeping up. It's already up. Like it's creeping up and it's not long enough for me. So this is perfect for a, in my opinion, a older child. With 130 rows would work great. Once they start to get into the teen years and their heads are this, like our heads are from a young child to an adult, the circumference of your head is not much difference. It's more the length. And so I think for a young child, a small young teenager, 130 rows is good. For me, I don't know. I think it looks good, probably, like it feels like it fits, but it also feels like it's creeping up. So it feels like for me, it's not a good fit. But I can see, I'm struggling because I can see where 130 rows might be what you would need. Because if you like it snug to your head and you want it just like a fashion statement so you can show your pretty earrings, I mean, that's great. if you don't live in -43. But it's not that temperature all the time, but it is cold here in winter all the time. And so for me personally, I'm going to stick with 140. I can tell just by the feel of it. It just feels like it's too small. It feels like I'm going to keep pushing it down. Yeah, no, I don't like 130, sorry. But again, it is a good size, depending if you live in a warmer climate where it's cool, but you just want to cover the top of your head and the tips of your top of your ears. 130 is perfect. For me, in my climate that I live in, I'm going to stick with 140. But I think this beanie turned out absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous. There it is. Thank you, friends, so much for joining me. My hair is probably just all over the place right now, but hey, I'm taking it for the team. That's you. And there you go. Please post in my Facebook group. If you're not a part of it, you can click on the link down in the description box below and come on over and join us. You will notice that we are a small group still at this point because I restarted my group. We had a fairly large group, and I let that go, needing a break for myself, and then decided that when I was doing a little bit better and feeling like I had the energy for it, I started it up again. Why? Because I missed my community. We missed each other. And so come on over, join my Facebook group. You're gonna love to be a part of it. I really know that you will. It's a great group of people. All right, so there's our beanie. Thanks for making it with me. I can't wait to see yours. Take care, have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next tutorial.